Hey guys, welcome back to Heart of the Hero, Tools for Successful Minds. We're going to seem a little excited today because we're talking about how to get more energy, and we're going to jump right into it. Greg, how are we talking about that today?
Today, we're talking about how to get more energy faster, how to have it right now. Maybe you're watching this video and you've been in a situation, you're probably in a situation right now where you don't have energy. You're feeling tired. You're feeling slow. You're feeling, oh, I don't want to do that. You don't have that motivation. You don't have that drive. You don't have that fire. You're not sure where to get it. So today we're going to tell you, and you can stick around if you want to, if you choose, we're going to tell you some of the secret kind of backdoor ways you can create energy in your own self, in your mind, to change kind of the way that you're feeling and put yourself in a state where you feel better, where your energy is higher, where you're ready to move, where you're feeling like that cloud that you're carrying, right? The I'm tired, or I'm unsure, or negative thinking, or whatever it is that's bringing you down. We're going to show you how to knock that out today.
Yeah, I mean, it's we need energy in all points in our life. If we're running on low energy in any area of our life, it's causing problems. It's causing an issue in our productivity, our efficiency, our capacity to maintain and hold information and pull memories out and pull things that we need and use our imagination. It's required for us to perform on an optimal level. Nobody likes working when they're tired. Nobody likes reading or studying when they're tired. Nobody likes even going to hang out with people when they're exhausted. They're just it's something that causes energy. Everything takes energy. So what we're going to talk about in a much more condensed version, and we're going to start shooting these guys out at you as special content for you guys, because we want everybody to be able to get the most view, even if you don't have a full hour to commit to our full length. So we're going to just hit you with this as quick as we can. And one of the ways to get energy is state change. And that requires you controlling your mind. It requires controlling your physiology and your emotions. It's something that you basically go through, and you decide to put yourself in a good place, to think about things that actually get you going, to think about things that proc emotions in you and get you all revved up, and get your physiology moving, get your heart rate moving. Push-ups, jumping jacks, go on a jog. Watch motivational videos. These things we're trying to proc ourselves into a good state, and your state has a large effect on you and in how you perform. Greg, maybe you have some things how a state could maybe affect your productivity negatively.
Yeah, I think you're probably experiencing it. Like if you don't have the state of energy. Let's say that there's a goal, right? There's a goal you want to hit. And maybe you remember it. Maybe it was yesterday or like last week. You were like, your energy was peaked out, man. Like you were revving and ready to go, right? You didn't need a lever to be pulled. You already had the energy, right? But you're here, right? You're here because you want to find out how to get back there, right? How you can remember how to flick that switch and keep yourself in a high state. Well, the way to do that is we're going to get to that in a minute, because essentially what you're probably experiencing, and I'll nail it down to the wall for you, right? What you're probably experiencing right now is low energy, the sensation of feeling like you're tired. Because a lot of times when you don't have energy, right? And it's not like your body doesn't have energy. You've probably eaten, you've probably slept a good amount, but you don't have the output energy, right? It's like I don't know if you guys have ever touched like an outlet, right? Or you've seen a fork stuck in one or whatever. You see those sparks, right? That's energy, right? That's what you want inside. You want to be able to generate that. You want to be able to turn it on and go, whoo, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to move. I'm ready to whatever, right? Whatever you got to do. But sometimes you get caught up in a negative space, or you get caught up in a low energy place where you can't generate that on your own, right? And so you maybe go look for a video, or you call someone, or you go for a run or whatever. But one of the things that you'll notice is when you're in this place, right, you don't feel like doing anything, right? You don't feel like doing a whole lot. You feel like, well, I could do that, but I'm not well. And you could remember a time when you were sure, right? When you were ready to move, and you didn't have to think about it, right? Because you had so much extra energy to spare. It's like, yeah, I could go do that. I'll go outside. I'll go make a run. I'll go call this person. I'll go do this report, because you had it to spare, right? You're like, I'll be fine after this. It's not gonna. But now, right? You might be feeling like anything that you do is going to deplete you. Anything that you do is, I don't have the energy for that, right? So the first thing to notice, the first thing to really grab a hold of is recognizing that's where you are right now, right? That's probably where you're in right now. And guys, take this seriously. Take this very seriously, because your energy level, right? We talk about a lot of stuff here on this channel, and you may not have heard the show before. You might be a new listener, or maybe you're a repeat visitor. But a lot of the stuff that we talk about has to do with you being able to grow yourself, has to do with your mind. But put all that aside for a second, right? Put all the tips and techniques and tools that you may have picked up in the past, or that you're expecting. Put that aside for a second, and just focus on how you feel. Focus on where your energy level is at right now, because ultimately, unless you can identify what you're feeling now, right? Whether it's high, whether it's low, whether you're sure, whether you're unsure, whether you're sparky, or whether you're a rock and you're sleeping, right? You have to identify that to change it, to choose to make the difference, right? To move yourself into a place where you could feel better, right? So, and I want to talk about that a little bit. Maybe you have some kind of quick hitter tips or ways that a person could open their mind to view this, right? Dan, what would you say is the main obstacle, right? Would you say it was the main blocker that keeps people from like being able to find this high energy place?
You know, I'll get there, but I'm actually going to walk through it in order here because we're trying to bang this out.
Absolutely.
But we'll get to the actual, what I consider to be the hardest part of state change and actually getting yourself into a good place. But first, I'm going to explain how we get there. And because there's a specificity here that you need to pay attention to, that you want to pick a thought. It all starts with choosing, right? You have to choose to do this. We kind of covered that. Once you've made this choice, we're assuming you're going to kind of get on board here, at least try this, or at least understand that the first step, you got to do it. You're going to feel like you don't want to, and you got to push through that. So the next step is controlling your thoughts, because thoughts control emotions, and emotions control, well, for the most part, and most of the population of the people control their decision making. And so what happens is you need to control your thoughts, because your thoughts, if you're in a bad state, an angry place, a sad place, your thoughts are betraying you. Your thoughts are keeping your mind on things that are negative and unproductive. So you need to control that. You need to be able to have something, a thought that you can focus on, something that you're a few thoughts, 9 thoughts that you can bounce from that are only putting you in a good place, whether it be happy, excited, passionate, ambitious, whatever it is, whatever these feelings are and these thoughts, whatever these thoughts are, you need to pick them specifically and design them to control emotions and proc, which by proc, I mean pry open that jar of emotions on each one of these and pull some of this emotion out, because that emotion is what controls your physiology. Oh my gosh, I forgot physiology. I'm sorry. Your physiology is there too, but we'll get to there. Because it goes thoughts, emotions, and then physiology is kind of like overkill in my opinion, but you want it and you need it. So you're controlling your thoughts, and it's thoughts that will proc emotion in you, like excitement and happiness and joy and peace. And you pick these thoughts, you tailor them to who you are and what you need to hear. What thoughts get you excited? What thoughts get you passionate? What thoughts get you moving and pumped up? Pay attention to those, write those down, memorize them, and say them to yourself, right? Because that's going to start procking emotions. Emotions are going to start procking hormones and chemicals in your body. It's going to flood you with feel-good chemicals. You want to get your heart rate so you can get some adrenaline going, some dopamine running, some oxytocin, some serotonin, some endorphins. You want that stuff in your system. It feels good. That's how you feel good. The experience of feeling good is controlled by these chemicals in your brain and mainly your stomach. So you are in control of all of these things if you choose to get control of your thoughts, to control that proc the right emotions, and then control your physiology, get your heart rate moving, get your blood pumping. Now, the hardest part of this, in my opinion, is actually designing these thoughts to proc your emotions properly, because what'll happen is you think, oh, I'm excited. I am the man. I'm going to do great. And these aren't really like specific thoughts. Like I'm confident. Why are you confident? What about you makes you confident? What do you love about yourself that makes you confident? When you do certain things and you feel so great, what are those times? Tell yourself and write those down. That's the type of thoughts you want to find. So the hardest part is actually finding the specific thoughts that'll proc the emotions necessary to proc the chemicals and hormones necessary. And also physiology, last part. Is there a smile on your face? How's your posture? You breathe slower when you
want all these chemicals. Look, you want all these chemicals. I mean, like everybody wants to have that high energy state, the endorphins, right? The adrenaline, the I don't know what you called it, dopamine, right? You want to have that energy, right? Well, I think the blocker, right? It's the idea that someone's watching you, right? Like you think we're going to give you some practices. I mean, he's already talked about, get your state up, get your energy up, get your, and you're going to probably be thinking, well, that's stupid. Like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go find another video. I'm going to go find another show because maybe they'll give me I'm going to write this down. It's like, no. You want to get your energy up. You have to do things, right? You have to make a change. You have to choose. You have to think differently because you can't, right? You got to do it right now. Like it's like
in each now,
right? And you're gonna start, right? You're gonna maybe have you're going to maybe have a mode where you're like, yeah, okay, I could do this. I'll get started. And then something's going to happen and you're going to go walk off. You're going to go like run somewhere else. And all that momentum that you put into building that energy is just gone, right? It just dissipates, right? You hit a golf ball and it falls in the water because you didn't aim right, right? So where are you aiming? Like, what do you want? And this leads into my, honestly, I think this is the number one thing that keeps people from actually getting that energy generated, actually getting that feeling of, I'm ready to go, right? It's this idea that you're not sure where you're aiming at. Like if you had all the energy you want right now, let's say that just like that, right? You're up, you're ready to go. Your eyes are popping out of your skull because you're just so energized, you're so ready to go. You're moving. Okay, what would you do with that? Where would you put that? What do you need it for? Are you doing a report? Is it school? Do you need to go somewhere? Do you need to go do a job interview and you want to have a high energy and feel good? Well, where is the energy going, right? You got to ask yourself these questions, because if you don't, you're going to be sitting there. You're going to be sitting here. You're going to be thinking. You're going to be on your phone. You'll be like, well, that would be great. And those are great tips. And those are cool techniques. But why do I need to do that? Like, that seems like a lot. Like, that seems like something that I don't want to do. That's out of my comfort zone. And all these reasons are going to come up and you're going to have nothing to fight them with because you didn't pick your target. So you need to understand, what do you need this for? What is this energy for? Like, what do you want to generate this for? Why do you need to feel better? Because you could feel however you want right now. You could feel bad. You could feel low energy. You could feel sad, and no one's going to stop you. No one's changing that for you. No one's fixing that for you, but you.
Yeah, and I think that's really it's really about the choice. That's why choice is step one. Is that you have to actually choose this, and your states that you're in that are negative are pretty powerful. They feel very viscerally real. They feel like you're in it and there's no escaping it, but there is. And you have to just be able to consciously choose to put yourself in a better place, to actually put yourself in a position and a physiological and mental and emotional state to even accept a good feeling where when you get sad, and something we didn't talk about that I'll talk about, that when your posture, what is your body language telling you? Are you slumped over? Are you kind of like down here, or you're not really giving a lot of effort into talking, even because you don't even want to put the energy into like all of those things. Your brain recognizes as patterns for feeling bad, sad in a certain way. And what happens is versus this. Okay, I'll change here, because if I was sitting like this and my voice is kind of higher up on my register and my face is a little brighter and I'm actually feeling a little bit of smile and I'm actually getting into it and my heart rate starts to come up, you see my breathing there. I need a little more oxygen because my whole entire body is actually responding to my control over my mind. I have the ability to put myself in any state that I need to, and your body will actually respond to the state that you're even presenting itself. If I'm sitting here talking like this, I'm telling you, it's really, really difficult to not actually feel the words that are coming out of my mouth. It's difficult to not actually be like into it and passionate, because like the behavior, the mannerisms, my brain's confused. It was like, wait, you were sad a second ago, but you're not. It's patterns, and you need to recognize how much the current state you're in affects your patterns. And that state change is abridged as it gets. Really, these things deserve to be talked about at length. And there's a lot of more material you can have out there. If you want to hear us talk about that more, that's something, that's really important to you and you want to hear more about it, hit us with a comment and such too, because we want to know what things you guys want to hear about too.
Okay, so look, they're primed, they're ready, the gun is cocked, it's loaded, right? Tools, actual useful. Because look, if you're not going to do this, don't watch the video. If you're not going to do this, don't listen to it. If you're not going to do this, like, don't be here, because you have to actually want to change this. You actually have to want to get that energy. Well, you want to grab it. You want to go do something. You want to take some action, right? And maybe you're not ready for that. Maybe you kind of want to stay in that, low energy place. But if you are ready, right, we're going to give you some tools, some real specific things that you can do, like right now, like this moment, right? When this video is over, when the show is in, you can go take action, right? Because taking action is the only way you're going to change this, the only way you're going to make this problem go away and feel how you really want to feel. Because ultimately, everybody wants to feel good. You want to feel that high energy state. You want to be having a smile on your face, feeling confident, right? So to do that, first thing, get your heart rate up. Get it as high as you can, right? If you got to go for a jog, right? If you got to run in place. I was doing that a little bit ago. I got my right, I'm ready to move. So that's the number one thing, your physiology. And you talked a little bit about physiology earlier. Maybe you have some interesting information that could kind of give them the pep in their step they need right now.
I think it's important to understand that your emotions are the experience of emotions. I'm not going to say your emotions aren't real, but the experience of emotions is controlled by chemicals and controlled by hormones. It's thoughts that are procking chemicals. That feeling of that depressive state is controlled by a chemical. That heart rate pumping, yeah, I'm ready to go, boom, yeah, and then you're just into it in your heart. That excitement is a chemical. There's a reason you're feeling like that. It's like if you've never smoked a cigarette before and you smoke a cigarette, you just got this like, it's like bud, this head rush, because it's like you've changed your physiology. It was a chemical. It changed you. We have chemicals and hormones designed to give us the experience of what these emotions feel like. Emotions are just a word. They're controllable if you have control over your mind.
All right, guys. You've gotten the tips, you've gotten the ways. You need to go take action. You need to go move, go run, go eat something that you like, go listen to some music that'll get you going, get you moving, right? But it all starts with a choice. And ultimately, you probably made that if you've made it this far. We don't generally do videos this specific, this tailored, this niche, right? But there are some times when long form stuff, right? You know, the long content, if you want energy, right? If you want to go do something, you need it now, right? You want that instant gratification of like, okay, like I can do this. Like, okay, I'm ready. Okay, I can move. Like, okay, I can take this action. Okay, I can go here. Okay, I can breathe, right? So this is kind of an abridged version, right? But ultimately, you know what you need to know. You know what you need to do. You know where you need to go take this action, right? So maybe you stick around, maybe not, but go do it, right? Go put yourself into that state where you have the energy to expend, you have the energy to spare, and we will see you soon. See you guys.